The Very Serious Crafts podcast is on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/seriouscrafts to support our podcast, find out about our Patreon half-stitched episodes, and more.
Hello, and welcome to Season 6, Episode 1 of the Very Serious Crafts podcast. I'm Molly from Wild Olive.
I'm Hannah from Hannah Miriam Studio.
And I'm Haley from Red Handled Scissors and the Bones and Bobbins podcast. Today, we'll be talking about what we've been up to since Season 5.
That wasn't that long ago, was it?
It's
Not
been a
that
while.
much life has happened since then.
I mean, we'll find out.
Okay.
But before we jump into talking, we want to give a shout out to our serious friends of the Very Serious Crafts podcast who are supporting us at patreon.com/seriouscrafts. Many thanks to our patient friends who are still with us. You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I feel like we're kind of just picking up where we left off. However, things are slightly different than where we left off. So,
Yes.
Haley, would you like to do introductions?
Yes, I would love to. The Very Serious Crafts podcast universe knows me and Molly, but you might have noticed that there's a brand new voice here, and it is my very good friend and also kind of family, Hannah. So,
Hi.
yeah, Hannah does a ton of really, really high quality clothing sewing and design. So she is the perfect addition to our little family here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay.
We are very happy to have you here and really to kind of help encourage this all to happen again.
Yes, it was definitely through Hannah's interest that we all ended up right back here in front of the mics. So thanks.
Happy to help and happy to be joining you.
Yay. All right. So, Molly, what in the world have you been up to since Season 5?
Well, first of all, it really does feel like I blinked and we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And simultaneously, it feels like a lifetime ago. So I won't be able to name all of the things that I've been up to, most certainly. And no one wants to hear all of that anyway. But I have, one of the things that I wanted to do when we paused recording episodes was that I was looking to kind of expand on what I was doing with my shop and my brand and things like that. So I've definitely spent a lot of time on that. And, I went, most of what I do is pattern design. And so I went a really long time without releasing patterns regularly. And so I knew that I was failing in that manner. It was, I needed to be working on that. So I did do that. I have been doing that. And so that's been really fun. And it's wow. And it's shown up in some different ways. And that's been good. One of the bigger things that I decided to launch. I mean, I've launched a couple of things and some of them are going away or have gone away, but whatever, that's how it is. But one of the things that I did do that has really stuck with me and with people around me is I started a Ko-Fi, which is kind of like Patreon, but I call it my Ko-Fi Clatch or a coffee clatch. And so I've had a lot of coffee themed things there because me and coffee go together. Yeah. So it's just a way that people can support me, but I've made a lot of new things that way. And it's encouraged me to have a more steady stream of things that I create. So that's been a lot of fun. That's definitely been one of the bigger ongoing things that I have been doing since then. There's more, but you tell me something that you've been up to. If you're up for it now.
I am very up for it. So I think one of the last things I said that I was about to be up to when we took our hiatus was reupholstery and refinishing Victorian furniture, casually.
Yes.
Yep. So I have been continuing to collect and at least partially restore a lot of furniture. I have largely failed to reupholster it because life, and we'll talk about that way more in our Patreon episode. So if you want to hear about that nonsense, definitely join our Patreon and listen to Half Stitched. But the thing that I am most into right now is hardening metal. So I'm super into making my own S-hooks at the moment.
Oh.
Like copper S-hooks, which I realize sounds deeply boring, but also extremely me.
I'm curious.
Yes.
I want to hear more.
So I just really, really find it satisfying to shape copper and to harden it with a hammer. And I have definitely hammered my finger this week, which is one of my favorite new activities as well. Which is
hammering your fingers?
Oh yeah, it's super exciting.
I also hammered my finger this week, and I will tell more about that in just a bit.
Oh, no.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Oh, yay. I haven't hammered my finger this week. So
Hey,
does that mean
What a loser.
I'm the special one, or is there something terrible coming in the next few days?
I think you might be winning.
Okay.
I sincerely hope that you do not hammer your finger.
Me too.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've been doing the S-hooks, but also different shapes for like holding air plants. And then also I've been making these things that are called witch bells, which are basically a pounded copper shape that holds bells, and you're supposed to put them on your door and they ring when you leave and enter, and it's like the sound of the bell sort of dispels bad energy. And so I've been making those as part of flea markets that I've been doing for most of the summer, which is very weird of me since I sell intellectual property. I sell designs. I do not usually sell items. And yet here I am selling items, lots of items.
Our lives are overlapping as usual, like where we go, oh, me too. We'll also get to that. That's on my list to talk about as well. Not flea markets, but markets. So, okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of that with my friend Monique, who had an oddities shop in town. And we are now a duo sort of traveling around, and we have a night market coming up on Saturday, which I'm making striped candles and a bunch of different terrariums and all sorts of things for that, because why not?
They look really good.
Thank you. And it's fun hanging out with my friend. Like I don't want to do this by myself, but I do want to hang out with one of my best friends and make things and have a good time and see other neat things that other people have made. And so it's honestly working out quite well, even though I have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning every Saturday to get to our local flea market. So,
Well, I love that. I don't love the 5:30 for you, but I love the rest of it for you.
I mean, the 5:30 is, since it's just one day a week, it's sort of novel, and so you just power through.
Okay.
I don't know. But how about you, Hannah? What have you been up to?
Well, let's see. So I am Hannah of Hannah Miriam Studio, but you may have known me for many years on Instagram as Matchmakes.
Yeah.
And as I have been transitioning my deep love of garment sewing into hopefully selling some handmade garments of my own in the future,
Yeah.
I have switched over to some slightly different branding and hope to be able to talk a lot more about that in the future. So I am exploring in the last year the world of drafting my own patterns.
Nice.
Yeah, which is sort of new for me. And also I've been sewing my own garments and the majority of my own wardrobe for about a decade now. So there's a lot of figuring out what I actually do know based on just the pattern adjustments that I have made on my own.
Turns out that's a lot.
It's a whole lot. I also, like, every once in a while I'm working on this and I want to remind the me who hated like geometry and math in middle school and high school that maybe like in the future some of this will actually be useful, and you might even get to use it for things that actually feel really good, and you won't even notice that you're using the math that you hated doing when you were a 13-year-old.
3D geometry. Turns out, use it a lot.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been diving into all of the summer linen sewing. If you see me on Instagram, you know I have a deep love of blue and white striped linen. I'm currently wearing some
I can
right
see
now. So yeah, I am working on that and slowly making my way through some drafted stuff of my own that I would love to talk about more in the future.
Yes, I'm so excited for what she's working on.
I'm pretty excited too.
I very much look forward to that. I am a fan of Project Runway, and my sister and I have been going through and watching old seasons and excited about the new season and the pattern drafting. The number of times that people don't know how to do any pattern drafting on that is always fascinating to me. Like, I can't pattern draft, but I'm not jumping in and claiming that I can make all these clothes. So I very much look forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah, I am endlessly fascinated by the people who show up on Project Runway and can pin stuff to a mannequin, but like don't know the first thing about flat pattern drafting. And I also am like definitely learning, but also I didn't sign up for Project Runway.
Yeah, I will say one time I was at Mood Fabrics in New York City, and
Mood.
I love that place. I love it. And I was in the elevator, I think, and there were two people there, and they were having, you just overhear the conversation. One of them was like, everybody else in my class already knows how to sew, and I've never sewn anything before. And the instant impression was that they'd signed up for, design school to learn how to, design clothes, and the one person didn't know how to sew yet. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of love that person's bravery.
I know.
Seriously. I have enough imposter syndrome that I'm like, I don't know. Like, can I start this business if I've only been sewing really detailed garments for a decade? And so there's a lot of me just being like, have you seen who shows up on Project Runway?
Right. Exactly.
No, and I would just like to take a slight moment to brag about how good Hannah is, because the finishes on her garments, like the pattern matching, the stripe matching, like it blows my mind every time. And I have seen her wardrobe over the past decade, and I have been so impressed because, I tend to be a really meticulous sewer, but she blows me out of the water.
Well, thank you.
Like, sincerely, oh my goodness.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Shall we? Okay. Would you like to hear about my hammering my finger situation now?
So that I know what I shouldn't be trying to do later this week.
Don't install flooring. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my different kind of DIY that I was working on. My sister bought a house, And so my dad and I have installed a number of floors in my family's house. And so we're like, we will install the flooring for you. So we were doing that and it was all going really well. And until I really, really whacked my finger with a rubber mallet.
Ow.
And it immediately started like bleeding out from under my fingernail. And I was like, oh, that's special. As if my hands weren't already sore just from, I mean, my knees were bright red and my hands are all sore from, and then of course I smashed my finger with a
Yikes.
mallet. It's fine now, but you know, it was just one of those dumb things. But it was, you know, I think a while ago we talked about different kinds of DIY projects that are not really like craft related, but that use some of those same skills.
Yeah.
And flooring is definitely one of those things.
Yeah.
Creating like a random pattern of tiles. My dad and I did that one time. That's not easy to make it look random. And
oh no, that's super hard.
you know, so we were discussing that and we were talking about how my dad's an artist. I mean, he's done a number of things, but at its heart, he's an artist. And he was saying, you know, we've come to this with a unique set of skills. And he noted that he appreciated like the mind that is precise, because you need a certain amount of precision with these things.
Yes.
But also the ability to kind of like go with the flow and find the right look and feel to the things. And so that was kind of fun to work on.
I think I would love laying tile.
Yeah, I didn't actually do any of the mastic or grouting for that. But I was there like, you know, arranging and, you know, assisting with that one. That was a while ago.
Yeah, that's the part I think I'd like.
Yeah.
I'm fairly
Yeah,
certain I would not like the mess.
It is a messy one. But yeah, so this was a laminate floor, but it was boards that had different color tones to them. So kind of like watching out for that. So that was a little DIY project. Also in DIY land, home DIY land, so my family bought a cottage last year.
Yay.
And so it's super cute and Scandinavian. And so there have been some little projects there. And I certainly will talk more about those as we make our way through this season. I'm sure of it. But
It's so cute though.
thank you. It was so cute when we walked in, and then now it's just been like adding fun little things. But so I've done boring things like sewing curtains, and slightly more exciting was recovering some old chairs.
Nice.
So that was a combo project with my mom. My mom painted the chairs and I recovered the seats, and so that was kind of fun. And I thought of you as I was doing it because of your at least plan to go into reupholstery.
Oh,
And
I
it was-
have done the seats of chairs
Oh
and
yes,
stuff.
but I mean,
Just-
like, you know, knowing that you like had all this furniture that you were like digging into, and or you know,
yes.
so yeah, these were very, very simple to recover, and I thought, well, this is a bit of work even with these simple chairs. So I wonder how big, complicated projects are going, but you know,
I mean, I've taken
I like
apart
those kinds of things.
a good number of, like, I definitely have made the patterns for and taken apart the original, the first chair that I'm working on that is like a wing back, like fully fabric covered chair. And so I made the patterns. I did like the hard stuff. I just haven't cut it out and sewn it. Like I did all the work. And yet,
Do you
here we
need me
are.
to cut? No, actually, I don't want to offer to cut anything out. I'll sew whatever you want me to sew. But
Now, see, there we go.
This is very handy.
Yeah. Well, she also has an industrial sewing machine. So, very helpful.
That's especially with those upholstery fabrics. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Although I did get the Burnett Academy Crafter, which is basically just a little hardcore maker specific sewing machine that is not digital. It's entirely mechanical, and its job is to sew through things. And I have broken more needles sewing through things that I shouldn't have sewn through. But the machine itself is like, whatever, it's cool. So I can confirm that though I do have a nice Bernina and such, sometimes you don't want to use the fancy sewing machine on the projects where you're definitely wrangling a thing. So yeah, definitely pleased that I treated myself to a heavy duty machine that is as heavy duty and as precise as I was hoping.
Excellent. I just have a Singer heavy duty that I did see someone recently say, "Oh, that's just a trash machine," and it has not given me any trouble yet. So
I've heard really good things about that machine.
Yeah, I have
again,
too.
it's all
I haven't
mechanical.
used one. Yeah, but I've heard really good things about that, and especially for the price point.
Yeah, especially the less new ones. I've heard great things.
Yeah, and I don't sew enough to warrant getting a really high-end sewing machine. So I was like, I want something that is just gonna sew the thing. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you sew by hand constantly.
I sew by hand way more than I sew by machine. Yeah.
That is fair. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Since last time we talked, I've started teaching. Speaking of sewing by hand.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, so I teach modern embroidery at a boarding school, which is, it's a high school, a co-ed high school, and I sort of love it. I wasn't expecting to, but this is going into my third year,
Yeah.
I think.
Wow.
And
See,
turns
that's
out
one of those areas where I can't believe how fast the time has gone by.
Oh, I know. And yeah, I wasn't expecting to be an art teacher at a boarding school, but you know what? Sometimes random things just happen. And yeah, I get along really well with teenagers because my brain is sort of weird in the same way that teenage brains are weird. Like that's where autism is a superpower. My bluntness and my direct lines of thought make sense to the teenagers that I'm talking to. And I'm not capable of like talking down to them because that's not how my brain works. So it's kind of ideal because we all just get to hang out and make things together.
Yeah.
The best way to spend time, hanging out and making things together.
It really is. I'm very pleased. So what else is going on, Hannah?
Well, I would say, speaking of hanging out and making things together,
Yeah.
I am going on a pretty fabulous trip in about 2 months' time.
Yes, you are.
I got the opportunity to join Christine Haynes, who's a sewing pattern designer, at a textile retreat in the UK in October.
I just want to fangirl for a second. That's all.
So cool.
Yeah, so I guess a little bit of background. I have been sewing kind of hobby-ish wise for 10 years now. And a lot of pieces of my life have changed in the last few years. And it's become really clear to me that I want to be spending my time sewing and to turn that into at least some sort of income, but also just to take myself more seriously as a maker. And one of the ways that I am doing that is by going on this trip and this sewing retreat in the UK. And so I'm spending 2 weeks over there. We've got a bunch of outings planned to some fashion exhibits and some studios and definitely some fabric shopping.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, including to the mothership that is Merchant and Mills in Rye.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's a really great opportunity. And I'm looking forward to the patterns that are being designed specifically for this retreat, but also really just...
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yes. But also just really wanting to spend my time around other people making stuff for about a week, because I find that kind of sinking into that this is what we're doing, this is how we're spending our time, all of us are in this kind of creative zone, to be really inspiring in the the small pockets of that I've had in my life. And so hoping to just make some new friends. And I always come away from spending time with creative people with way more ideas than I have time. But
Yes, that's the blessing and curse.
yes, absolutely. And I'm sure I will have a list of like, will I be able to function as a human being if I haven't made these 12 garments in the next 6 weeks? Which is,
And the answer will be no.
yes, obviously. So we'll see exactly how that meshes with my real life when I come back from that trip. But really looking forward to this opportunity to just sort of take myself more seriously as an artist, as a maker.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited / jealous. It's going to be amazing. And I feel like you're going to come back, and then I am going to have a swift kick in the pants towards actually sewing the garments that I have been not sewing for
Absolutely.
how many years? I don't even know.
It's fine. You just need a vacation, and that will spur you to make all the projects right before.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Maybe sometime we'll talk about the garments that I've decided I can't possibly go to Europe without having
Yeah.
made.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a deep callback here on the podcast, but also I'm getting ready for a short trip right now and going, what patterns should I be making really quick so that I can stitch them while I'm gone?
Oh,
Amazing.
yes. Relatable. And I mean, we all know my infamous Emmy dress that I was sewing
Oh, yes.
like 2 hours before we left for the plane.
No big deal.
There is still like, I don't know, like a 1.5 feet of lace that just isn't there on the underskirt. I mean, it's a half circle skirt. Unless you're really going to dig through all of that, nobody's going to notice. And I'm not sure if I'll ever wear it again. But
Is it a trip or a vacation or an event if you haven't panic made something or panicked about the fact that you didn't get around to making the thing you were panicked about a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
not that I know of.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page.
That's very, very real.
Yeah, especially the design nonsense where you're like, oh, I'm going to have so much time on this plane or on this train or whatever. And I should totally be working on this thing that I have been meaning to design. Oh, no.
Or could you watch a really terrible movie that you didn't enjoy the first time you saw with really terrible audio on this really terrible airplane? That's obviously the better way to spend your time.
Okay, I'm going to make a confession that has nothing to do with crafting at all, but this is what I like to do on airplanes.
Oh, please.
I like to watch what other people are watching
Yep.
without the sound. I just like, obviously I'm not going to like be super weird about it, but like when I happen to like just see it, and sometimes I'll try to figure out if I can like what is the movie that they're watching?
Yes.
Just from, a bit of context. What is the plot? What is actually going on? Because I can't hear anything. And I've caught some really interesting. I can't remember the name of the last one that I watched most of. It was rather violent. But another time I got to enjoy someone else's Dumb and Dumberer.
Oh, nice.
So,
I definitely, the only time I've ever watched Game of Thrones was behind someone on a train years and years and years ago. But it happened to be an infamous marriage-related episode. And
Oh, no.
I am very sorry that I was nosy. I'm very sorry. Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Do we have more things that we're discussing here? I think so.
Yes.
We were going to talk markets a little bit. One of the things that I'm currently working on is getting ready to actually do my very first market. And I have been working on a number of things along the way that I would consider a secret project. Probably getting ready to do the podcast was like one secret project.
Yeah.
I have been working on another secret project that I'm going to say by the time this episode airs might not be secret anymore, which is that I designed some kits for felt crafts. Some of those at least will be for sale at this first market. That has been kind of like a thing that I decided to do, and I've sort of quietly hinted at it a few places, but
That's exciting.
it is very exciting.
What kind of market?
So there, at the place where my cottage is, our family cottage is, they do a like craft and artisan market every fall, and you actually get to go, and the shops are set up inside cottages.
Amazing.
And
That's cute.
it's really adorable. And I volunteered at it last year, and I mean, I was invited to participate last year, and I was like, there's no chance I'm going to be ready for this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready for it this year, but because I've never created physical stock like yourself. I'm a pattern designer. I do IP. And that's been my thing. And so it's like, how do I either translate that to patterns and kits that people buy, or finished objects that are just ready to go? And so I'm going to attempt to have a mix of those things. And so I've been trying to get really rolling on that. Now it's in October. So now it's like, okay, buckle down. I have like all of the plans.
Yep.
Now it's like really get going on that. So it's going to be like a whole new experience to do that, and like, you know, plan out what does it look like to make things in bulk. I've been told that I should plan on having a lot of stock, that people buy a lot at this. So,
oh, that's good.
I'm nervous, excited.
I mean, I will say that as a person who has never bulk made anything before the beginning of summer, because I've been doing flea markets and night markets since Memorial Day, I guess. And my first big learning experience was what sells. Like, I showed up with a bunch of stuff that I had no idea whether or not it was going to actually be popular. And so many of the things that I didn't think would be popular were the most popular. And it's been wild. And things that people buy one week are not the things that people buy the next week. Like, it has been a fascinating thing. And I think I'm doing terrariums that correspond with each element. So I have a cool idea. A water terrarium with Marimo moss balls, because my Marimo moss ball has had 1 million babies. And then, I just have one for earth, fire, air. So all of those, like, the themes have been interesting. And sometimes people are super into it, and sometimes people are super not. The things that I think nobody wants are the things that people buy the most of. Like, things that I've made one of and was like, fine, whatever, I'm just going to add this, are the things people want more of. Like, I don't know.
It's super helpful.
It is. And it's surprisingly fun. And as we all know, I don't like people very much. And like,
present company excluded, I'm hoping.
Obviously. I love you guys. But I'm an autistic introvert. Like, I am not the most predisposed towards being successful at this sort of thing. But I found that it's a lot like doing demos at like crafting trade shows. And I have Trade Show Me, which already exists as a personality. And so doing that once a week has been kind of fun and like surprisingly enjoyable. I really didn't think I'd like it.
Yeah. Well, there's always been a part of me that enjoys working on things that some might see as a little bit monotonous, you know, like just doing the repeat thing, assembling things, cutting things out. It's like, there's something really calming about that to me. So that part I'm enjoying right now, and we'll see if I do this ever again. I might have to, if it doesn't sell well, I might have to figure out a way to sell the things, but it's just,
you can send it to me and I'll sell them in the flea market.
I like the idea of you selling what you make, and then having some felt ornaments with faces side by side because,
It would be popular, I think.
well, we'll find out.
Oh,
It's a
goodness.
risk, but it's okay. It's all right. So I'm sure that I'll share more about that as that actually happens, when that happens. But
I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited for you.
I am too. And then my sister Grace is gonna come and be my second person and help
good.
me, and she's gonna help me make some things as well. So it's good.
Awesome.
She's my official assistant, so it helps.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that that she's now actually officially
She's on the payroll.
on
Yeah.
on the payroll. That's where I was going with that. But
I may need to pick both of your brains about markets at some point, because certainly I am aiming for selling things online, but very aware of the need to get my name out there and
oh yeah,
do some
I mean,
selling
you
in
can join
person.
us anytime.
I may be doing that at some point.
That would be, yeah. How do you like making items that, like, I know that you are currently designing a secret thing
Yes.
that isn't for you, that is
Correct.
specifically a as a thing that you will eventually sell.
Yes.
How do you like that versus sewing for yourself?
I think I'm still figuring that out, but part of the issue here is that, like, I just love sewing at a quantity that I don't need personally anymore.
That's perfect then.
Exactly. And I think that I have figured out that, like, somewhat meticulous garments that maybe don't need a ton of fitting but have a lot of finishing detail is, like, absolutely my jam. And so what I am working on is something that doesn't necessarily need to be a tremendously fitted garment, but that is going to have some fun details, and the sort of fun details that aren't often done super well in ready-to-wear garments. And so a huge part of this is, like, how can I sew full time?
Yeah.
How can sewing be a thing that makes me some money without being an alterations person, without having to hem any more than I already do, which I absolutely hate.
Gee, I can't imagine that feeling.
I don't even, like, even if I have made the whole thing myself, I get to that hemming bit and I'm like, is there anybody else who wants to do this? So I'm still figuring out whether sewing things for other people will scratch that itch for me, but I am hoping that perhaps I will get enough of that satisfaction from sewing things that I'm selling to other people that I will feel less of a need to make, like, 7 button-down shirts every season. Because despite how much I enjoy wearing them, sometimes you end up feeling bad for the one that doesn't get worn as much.
Well, okay, I do, because I make, like, well, one of the things that I have been doing for a while now is I essentially write and design a column for Simply Sewing magazine, and it's called Stitch Upcycle. And so the idea is to take an object, usually, sometimes it'll be something like where you make it out of scraps or whatever, but usually it'll be take an object, add embroidery to it in some way, and just to kind of upgrade it. Sometimes I'm able to use old existing things. Sometimes I actually have to buy something because you can't just always find the exact thing you need. But
Yes.
There's a point at which I don't need all of those things that I'm making.
Yes.
I love the thing that you have just made. The is it a shirt with all of the embroidery on it? The floral embroidery?
With the flowers. Yeah, it's like coming out of the pocket.
Yes.
See, that's one that it's actually a dress, but it's like a t-shirt dress. And that's one that I actively wear. But then I have other things. Actually, I made a dress that had embroidery on a pocket. And I realized I loved it. I loved the embroidery so much. And I realized that the dress, though, it just did not look good on me. It was not. And it sat here for like 2 years. And I finally offered it to my mom. I was like, do you want to just try this? And she loved it. I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because, you feel like you spend this time and, I'm paid to make them. So it's fine. But also it feels like a waste sometimes. And then you go, okay, well, so what do I do with these things? I've literally purchased things at a thrift store, embroidered them, and then returned them to the thrift store because I don't know what else to do.
Though.
Yeah.
I kind of love that you're adding just a little treasure for someone to find.
I have found pre-embroidered garments at thrift stores, so
Yeah, that comes up a lot. Well, I mean, I like old things. So I pick up a lot of embroidered textiles and like bobbin lace tablecloths and things like that because I love people's work. I actually found a family embroidery piece that is from 1780s or 90s, I think. And it was basically marriage and birth and also eventually death dates for a whole family tree. And I got it for $5.
Wow.
And
that just feels wrong.
Yes, it
well,
does.
and frankly, it was a store that was going out of business and an antique store that was going out of business. And I don't think it was supposed to be in the $5 pile, but I think the person who owned the store saw that I understood what it was and was excited about it and gave it to me for $5 anyway, because it should have been like the shape it was in, like it was silk embroidery floss, and it should have been like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found the family.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
I haven't been able to get in touch with them yet, but I found the people. I know where they're buried, and I've worked down to get very, very close to the current generation. And I am really hoping to be able to do just a little bit of work to make it slightly more presentable and hopefully find them.
That is so cool. And I hope that happens and that we hear all of the updates. I know we will hear all the updates.
Yes.
And I mean, maybe they won't want it. That's entirely possible. And maybe it will just live here. Like I have many photos and I have a lot of things from other people's ancestors that I've just adopted as mine. And so it can stay. But if someone's excited about it, like I would love it if someone reached out to me and was like, so
Yes.
I found this thing in a thrift shop and tracked you down.
That would be pretty
I would
cool.
cry if that happened.
Yeah.
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 Well, I feel like we have gotten lots of good updates on things and
Yeah.
things to look forward to as this season unfolds. But is there anything else that we need to discuss before we start wrapping this up for today?
I don't think so. I've got plenty to add for our next episode, but
Yes.
Me too.
I think that we have probably overwhelmed the ears of our listeners just a little bit with everything we've been up to.
Yes. and welcoming Hannah.
Exactly.
It's so great to be here with you guys.
Yay. It's very important to let everyone know that we have changed very little.
We
Yes.
are still making things.
Exactly. And are still very serious, not very serious crafters.
Exactly.
Oh
That
my
is-
goodness.
That is the thing right there.
Exactly. So shall I wrap us up?
Oh, wrap us up, please.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So thanks for listening to the Very Serious Crafts podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Serious Crafts and on Facebook at Very Serious Crafts. You can also find show notes and all things Very Serious Crafts at, shockingly, veryseriouscrafts.com. And finally, if you're a fan of the Very Serious Crafts podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on whichever platform you use to listen to podcasts. Good ratings help us show up in recommendations, which helps more people who love crafting find us.
Yay!
Yeah,
We're officially
yay.
back.
Yay!
Amazing.
Indeed. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.